So we're in a moment of reset for sustainability. Sustainability is growing up. We're moving out of the era of woolly ambition and into the era of delivery. But we know that that means that we have to engage with people in language that they understand. So when you're talking to your teams, how do you bridge the gap between what they might think of as circularity, but what your marketing team might think of as premiumization or durability?
So actually we even created an analogy for this as a team. We call it Mind the Gap. It has a few principles. The reason it was Mind the Gap because I lived in London, and I thought you always hear it, no mind the gap, because if you're not minding the gap, you might fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. And sustainability is same thing. It's super complex, and if you don't mind the gap with your audience, you just lose each other. And one of the principles we have there is really meeting with your stakeholders on where they are in terms of the maturity they have on your topic. Mm-hmm. So for marketing team, it is premiumization. So they don't have to know the details of circular design, but they need to know circularity strategy contributes to durability and premiumization, and that's good enough. And I think there's a two side streams, let's say. My team also should be comfortable with not to lecture the marketing team. And the marketing team should be comfortable with understanding the bigger picture. It may not be the sexy big cut story, but it is contributing to the bigger picture. So I think there needs to be a conversation happening there. That's why the first principle is meet with your stakeholders on where they are. The second principle of Mind the Gap is perfectionism versus practicality. So as sustainable teams, we are generally the engineers, technical people, life cycle analysis experts, and we try to say, okay, this is exactly 99.72%. We don't have to get that much details, no? It is good enough for marketing teams to know this is the best product we've ever put into the market. And then the third reality is we're all working for corporations, no? It's a profit business. There is a reality of like our ambitions with the expectations we have from the board and their expectations as a business. So we just need to really like sit down and say, okay, what the business is trying to achieve. And when you're sitting with these realities, I think some uncomfortable conversations becomes a bit easier to maneuver around.
And thinking about those slightly uncomfortable conversations, there's a real push in corporate sustainability at the moment towards simplification at all costs.
Yeah.
Why might that not always be the right approach? What might the implications be?
In the early days in my career, that was a thing, no? Because there wasn't big sustainability teams. It was very few people working on this topic. You may need to do things 3 bullet points for everyone, so it's easy to understand. Now we're in a different reality. The topic is complex. Sometimes it sits in the board, sometimes it doesn't. You have bigger teams. The regulation is coming on our way. So I think now we shift from, instead of simplification, it's translation. So whoever you're sitting with, again, in the room, if you're talking with your chief marketing officer, the language you need to use is very different than when you talk to a CFO. And I think, again, the role is on sustainability teams as well to understand these teams' languages so that we can adapt ourselves. That's why I say the best sustainability professionals I've seen in my career are the best listeners. So they are very good at listening, observing their stakeholders so they can translate the message accordingly.
And another big challenge in translating messages is the increasing jargon density that we're seeing across the board at the moment. If you could ban one piece of sustainability jargon tomorrow, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I would avoid using the word should. In these conferences, any engagement sessions you are in, you always hear people, we should have done this, we should have done that, we would do this. If you know that should have been done, why didn't you do it? So I like to get into action instead of talking shoulds and woulds. I do we should.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you.